Alright, hello guys. Today we're going to be talking about some wintry weather that's going to be entering the northwestern and some of those rocky regions of the United States. I don't talk about you guys a lot. There's a lot of giant snow systems that do end up heading out there. It's just so typical to see that, but today's a very quiet day everywhere else in the United States, so we really have kind of the most notable weather going on out in you guys' neck of the woods. So we're going to have a video for you guys today. Now, before I get started with this video, though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to check out the links in the description for our social medias. So let's get it right into things. Now, we're looking at our current advisories, watches, and warnings, or current hazards, as we call it sometimes. You can see we do have some winter weather advisories up there for Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan. Those are associated with our Clipper system that we've already made a video for. Also some lake effect snow going on for Pennsylvania and New York. And then we have a little bit of Massachusetts there from that little bit of a cold front that's going through. And we do see some snowfall going on for those regions wrapping up as we speak. So, as we head out into the northwest, we see some of those Rockies, Utah, Wyoming, Idaho. All of these regions do have some winter storm watches where we're expecting some pretty heavy snowfall. Also, winter weather advisories there for Idaho, Montana, and Washington as well. And then some winter storm warnings for Oregon, Washington, and Idaho in those pink colors. And that's where we're expecting some of the biggest impacts from this storm. Now, we're about to look at our little bit of a surface map here to give you guys a better idea of the regions that we expect to be impacted by this storm. Alright, so as you can see, this pink region, we're expecting wintry weather of some sort. Some of it is going to be in the form of rain, obviously, coastal California, some areas. It's just so difficult in the western United States with the elevation differences to pinpoint where the snow is going to be, the mix is going to be, the rain. It is so difficult to pinpoint it, so it's easier to just say there's going to be a winter storm in this pink area, whether that's rain, snow, or mix. And you really just have to pay attention to the models and look at, and I'm going to show you guys that, don't worry, but we have to pay attention to how much snowfall they're expecting you to get. It would be like making a masterpiece of a painting, trying to make a snowfall map sometimes for the western United States. It would probably take me over a day to make a snowfall map. I've done it once and it took like 4 hours, which is just ridiculous for making a map because it already takes me, many more hours to edit and everything. So that's why I don't make snowfall maps a lot for the entire western United States. Some smaller systems I do, though. Now, let's look at some of your Futurecast Radar. We're going to be looking at the NAM 3KM here. And this is by later this evening, which is going to be Wednesday, December 11th. And we can see some snow showers going on right now for Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, and some rain showers offshore of Washington, Oregon, and California. Now, these storms are going to make their way onshore and bring snow to the coasts of the western United States in our next frame. Alright, so as you can see, we do have some blues popping up for Oregon and Washington in those areas where we have winter storm warnings. We also see our Clipper system up there from Montana and North Dakota. Again, I already made a video on that one, so if you did want to check that out, you can find it on my channel. I already made a video for that storm, so we're not going to be talking about that one in this video. But the Rockies, you're getting snow showers by this point. And we also have some snow going on for the northwestern United States as far as the high elevation areas. As we move towards late tonight, maybe 12 a.m. tonight, which is going to be Thursday, December 12th, 12 a.m., and we see some snow going on for Washington, Idaho, Oregon, California, Nevada, Montana, Wyoming. All of these regions, we're seeing snow heavy at times. It's in the form of kind of showers off and on, very small areas, so it's not very consistent. But in the areas that do receive snow, we are expecting to see massive amounts of accumulation, and that's usually how it goes in the western United States, just tons and tons of accumulations with a lot of these systems. So very common type of system here, but again, it's the most notable thing going on right now. As we head towards Thursday, December 12th morning time, this is maybe around 11 a.m. tomorrow Western time there, and we do see snow still occurring for Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana. All of these regions, especially high elevation areas, are getting heavy snow, at least moderate to heavy snow. By this point, we still see some more showers heading on shore, but this is going to be a multiple day event here as we move on again towards the evening of Thursday. So tomorrow from now, but it's going to be Thursday, December 12th. We see during the evening time, maybe around dinner time, we see more heavy showers heading onshore to Oregon and Washington, bringing those mountain ranges. Again, some more heavy snowfall. We see the Rockies starting to fill out Idaho, Wyoming, and Utah. All of these regions are receiving more and more snowfall still. Some of the southern Rockies, including Colorado, still getting some snowfall heading in as well. Let's head on one more frame, and this is going to be Thursday night heading into Friday, so maybe around 11 p.m. on December 12th. And we see it's cooled down a lot. We see a lot more blue than green, but Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, down through Colorado and Utah getting some more snowfall by this point as well. Definitely accumulating as we've had snow for days now by this point. We're about to move on to where we see more precipitation head onshore and even more areas receive even more snowfall. All right, as you can see, we have tons and tons of snow going on for Montana, Wyoming, and Idaho by this point, as well as some of those similar areas still in Utah and Colorado. But Washington, Oregon, we still have more snow heading onshore, and even the mountains of California getting some snowfall by this point as well, which we haven't seen a lot of so far to this point. But just tons of snow, and it's really interesting to me how scattered around it is and not like one consistent storm. Very, very interesting and kind of unusual in that sense, I guess, because usually we'll see very massive storms head onshore where the precipitation isn't really ending and then starting up again. But this is just like really heavy snow showers all over the place for the northwestern United States. And it's going to be going on from about the 11th now today until about the 16th. So very, very interesting stuff. By the 14th, we have a little bit more of an organized system here. This is going to be, I guess this is the 13th into the 14th, so heading towards Saturday, December 14th. We see California, Oregon, Nevada, Utah, Idaho. All of these areas are receiving consistent snowfall, as well as areas in the Dakotas and Nebraska and Montana. We have another consistent snowstorm there. And so it's really filling in a lot. But this one's really interesting because we see some of the southern and eastern areas of Oregon getting a lot of snowfall here. Even some of the lower elevation regions that aren't necessarily mountaintops here. So very interesting frame here. As we move on to our GFS model, because we're getting outside of the NAM's range here, so we're having to move towards a more lower resolution model. We see this is maybe morning time on Saturday, December 14th, a little bit beyond that previous frame. And we see an organized low pressure system there over Utah and Nevada, bringing snowfall to a lot of the surrounding regions. Let's move on another frame, and you can see it dips south and brings the Four Corner States some snowfall by this point. And this is going to be by December 15th, the morning of Sunday, December 15th. And then we move on towards later, and we see that low pressure system has moved into Oklahoma and Texas and is bringing a little bit of snowfall to those regions by Sunday night into December 16th, Monday. And that's going to be the end of the frames that we're showing, because that's pretty much the end of all these storms for the western United States at least. Let's look at some of your snowfall forecasts here. We're going to take a look at the GFS, NAM model, Canadian model, all sorts of models here at the end of this video. All right, first model we're going to take a look at is the GFS. We see it's going to be hard for me to point out states and be like, you see this area gets this because it's so scattered on. And I'm going to show you the 3km NAM, which is a very high resolution model to get my point across, just to show you how difficult it would be to make a snowfall map for this particular system. Now the GFS already, this looks difficult enough. You could probably tell that this would be tough to make a map for, hand drawn, which all my maps are through Photoshop. Now you can see on the GFS, we see a lot of those greens popping up for Idaho, Montana, Washington, and Wyoming as well. And that's where we're seeing 12 inches to 24 inches of snow, maybe even more if you're seeing some of those blue and white conditions. Let's move on to the Canadian model, and not a lot is different here, so we're really just going to show this and just move on, but just pinpoint your area and see what these models are showing. And here's the NAM 12km. You can see it looks a lot like the GFS, nothing too crazy. Now let's look at the high resolution NAM 3km model, and I like to do high resolution snowfall maps, so this is pretty similar to what I would have to draw in Photoshop. I mean, it is just, look at that. You can't even make out what's going on here, and really it's just every single mountaintop is getting more snow than the valleys below, and it just makes for an incredibly difficult snowfall forecast. This would take me 2 or 3 days to make an accurate snowfall map for. So that's why in systems like this, I prefer to just show the modeled guidance of snowfall. And I hope you guys understand that it's just, sometimes it's just well beyond the difficulty level that makes it worth it, and the models are going to probably be have less errors than I would trying to draw a map for a system like this. So that's why I don't draw a lot of snowfall forecast maps for the Western United States like that. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Be sure to share it with your friends and family. See you guys later.